Madam Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me warmly welcome Her Excellency Mrs. Okada Keiko and honorable delegation members of Nihon Nippon. Ohayo gozaimasu. Irashaimase. It's an honor for me to work together with high-level professional and scientific researcher as a teacher on international law representing your country, Madam Hiroka Akizuki. あなたの国にお題発する国際法の専門家及び教師と協力できることを光栄に思います。Hiroka Akizuki. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Your Excellencies, Japan traditionally develops family and women policy, high technology, implement awareness-raising projects on the prevention of violence and trafficking, create state shelters and hotlines for the victims, adopted several national action plans during these years. State policy is based on the supporting e-government, cybersecurity, and implementing national standards on human rights and protection. At the same time, we have the problems, and several problems continuing from the last report till these days. During the last 5 years, we didn't see the change in the structure of this work. For example, what's happening with NGOs? Limited access to the financial technical support. When we say about the national authority on the women's rights, we see that limited access and the personnel and staff, and at the same time, it's not covering the full country as a Japan. At the same time, we see the problems in 1325 resolution implementation as a peace building. After the Second World War, world changed, and during this year, the United Nations changed, as Japan economic change, transformation for the development, the green energy, many new technologies coming to the country through the Japan, to the world especially. But for example, during this year, didn't create it especially NHRI, independent NHRI structure. When we say about the gender budgeting, we do not see, for example, implementation through the parliament, a special law as it going through the national diet of Japan, Kokai. And we say about the workplaces and different understanding. Now when I will say, for example, about the Okinawa woman, I will not say about the sexual violence and kidnapping questions, which will be honored and we will discuss on the Article 5. I think about the 1325 resolution of conflict situations, which having from 1945. We know that they are not especially resolving questions about the US military representation in your territory. There are no peaceful agreement between you and the Russian Federation on the Kuril Islands. There are many questions which are open. And what's the role of the woman in participation in these negotiations? How the woman participate in the diplomatic line and different sides? I'm not asking about the statistic data. There's the role of women in the peace-building process. And at the same time, how you, including especially fighting with the prevention is such kind of tortures, different things, violations of human rights, were representing US military forces. It's my first part. What about the Kokai and gender budgeting and adoption a special law? We will be including in gender budget, in your budget law, a special gender budgeting point. And what will be special budget, what you're including there? What did you special during the last 5 years for the implementation and involvement of such kind of article? I will go to my third one, and minister level, which is very important. You have a minister of women rights, for child rights, and at the same time you have the minister of family relations. But what about the creation of a special independent ministry? And I will go to my main question, which are coming for the NHRI. You are a member of the independent, as a sovereignty and independent country. You are going through such kind of barriers. You are going to prevention such kind of international law questions. But what about to be the member as a part of the NHRI creation, especially independent, not directly internal of Minister of Justice? How you are looking for the development of full system human rights protection without alternative monitoring mechanisms for the Japanese nation? You adopt main 9 conventions of treaty bodies of the international law and the United Nations. What about the creation of such kind of alternative and independent procedure, which will be the part of your included in the international law, and in turn, especially for your people, for the women and girls? Thank you very much. And excuse me, I have one point. Tochin mochi ashimoto kurashi. Arigato.